What's good, YouTube? I'm Zero Zeus, and welcome back to another Dragonball Super video. Today's video, we're gonna be doing my episode 126 review. And before we go any further, please, if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I definitely need that support. And also, this video is not mine, just putting it out there. I'm just using the image. I don't mean anything by it. I'm not trying to make $1 million off of anybody's work. I just needed this image, and the way that I usually do it, I couldn't do it that way, so I'm doing it this way. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So what you already know by now is that the video is definitely about my boy Vegeta. He showed up and he showed out this video. I mean, this episode to me. I know a whole lot of Topo fans. If anybody see this that's a Topo fan, I mean no disrespect at all, because I think Topo is pretty cool. Before we go any further with that, I think Topo's cool. I like, he had his own little special little power, and by the way, spoilers. Before we go any further, spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, please leave. And if you do, let's continue. So Topo. Topo and Vegeta, that's like the highlight of today's episode. But we're going to start, I'm not going to go through the whole episode, but I'm going to review some things from the episode. So, like, the beginning, I was kind of angry when you first seen it's like 17, and he's facing off against Topo, this person he clearly cannot contest with. But, we're not even going to pay that any attention, because being a park ranger makes it possible for him to be able to fight somebody like a candidate to be the god of destruction. But we're not even gonna talk about that. We just gonna keep it moving. But 17 going against Topo. One thing I will give him respect for is that he stuck in there. Like, for him to still be around, he definitely, he putting out, I guess you could say, because he's still in there. It's impossible for him to be there since it's people that's stronger than him that's out. I feel like that's ridiculous for him to still be in there, but whatever. And we get to see him basically, hitting Topo with a barrage of blast, and them going back and forth, and then they have this sort of like key clash a little bit. As you remember from last week's episode, when they tried the same thing, it was like it immediately broke through 17's energy, broke all his shit down, and it just basically, dissipated in the dust is what it looked like. And that didn't happen this time. And it looked like he was doing something different with the energy. I'm not trying to, make up some new shit or anything like that, but it looked like he was doing something different. You can see, usually you don't see 17's key blue, for one. Not trying to say it's like, oh, it's Super Saiyan blue, but and it had like this little orb inside of it. Like, I don't know what he was doing to hold back the Hakai energy, but it definitely was something that he doesn't do regularly, and I felt like I should point it out. And another thing I liked about this episode was the fact that Frieza, even though he was, I'm not gonna try to kill you dead and say he was knocked out, but he was definitely over there slumped in the corner. He was hanging off the edge of the tournament, of the ring, and I'm happy they didn't knock him out. I'm happy he's still in, because I probably would have been highly pissed if 17 isn't out, but Frieza is, and that's ridiculous. But anyway, Frieza comes. I think Topo was about to make this huge ki blast, right? Really big, like a little miniature sun. It wasn't. I guess they didn't make it too big, because even it doesn't have to actually be big to be super powerful. But the way that it looked like it was gonna be too much for 17, and then Frieza intervenes, and he makes his comeback, tries to make his comeback. And I'm not trying to butcher the name of this move, but I think he used like psychosis. It's something I remember. I don't know if that's the correct name for it, because I remember getting it from one of the games, like from back in the day. That's where I'm remembering it from. But yeah, and the way he did it, it's funny how it looked like Hakai energy, right? Like, not like it physically looked, but it acted like it. The way it engulfed him, and I never put two and two together with that, but that's a kind of a little funny little thing, that it looks exactly like that, except his is red. Most of the time Frieza's energy, his key is red anyway. But moving forward on to the fight that you want to see. So we did not know how it was going to end up being Topo versus Vegeta. For one, I did not expect, the way that it came about was he was in the middle of going at it with Frieza and 17 Topo. He was going at it with these two, and then you got Vegeta and Goku over here going at it with Jiren. And he just decided, they just stopped. They looked at each other, they nodded their heads, and then he just went and followed suit. And he just intervened and tried to separate Vegeta from Topo. Now we really get into the meat of the video, because this is what I really wanted to talk about. I'm trying not to make it too long, but man, Topo last episode looked amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. At the time, I had even made a video where I was like, will Vegeta be able to beat Topo? But I thought myself, to be totally honest, I wanted him to beat Topo. Topo cool or whatever, but I really wanted Vegeta to win this, because I felt like he could, and they definitely demonstrated that in this episode. So you got Topo at first when he intervenes and catches Vegeta off guard, he was really putting it to Vegeta. Like, he was beating him down. And I thought it was just going to be the same song with like Frieza and 17. Like, he was going to be way too much for Vegeta. But they just keep having these little moments with Vegeta, like these little sweet little moments where it's like, oh man, he's thinking about his family, and he's thinking about Kaba and stuff like I know it's like corny or whatever to some people, but that's cool though. I like that. It makes him deep. It makes him a little more deep. And he gets enraged, he powers up a little bit, and the life-risking blow was exactly what you thought it was. Like, I know they knew when they made, he's gonna do this. They had to know that everybody was expecting this, but it's so cool how they went about it. It's like, and before I go any further, we definitely have to talk about how Vegeta's encounter with Hakai Energy, because I was talking to somebody and they just brought it up how, Vegeta's finally had his encounter. So I'm like, yeah, that is true. Goku had his, Frieza had his, and Vegeta, being in his new form, made his fist started to glow blue, and he just broke it. Like, he made it blow up, or disperse, however you want to call it. He basically destroyed it. That's what I look at it as. And it's just like, that just made me feel like, I don't think Topo is actually fucking with Vegeta, to be totally honest. At first, when they did the little final flash clash with him and Topo was, using his, and I'm like, he's one hand in the final flash like it's not nothing, but he was using the energy, though. He wasn't using his bare hand, though. So, but yeah, definitely looks like Topo isn't as strong as we thought he was. And so, basically, after Vegeta has his little moment, he finds his motivation, and he just explodes, goes toward Topo. I think Topo was making another little miniature sun at this time. Like, I guess he put a little bit more into it because Vegeta's a little bit more of a formidable opponent. So, and you just see Vegeta rushes up, he breaks through it, and just starts landing blows every which way on Topo. Like, and Topo, he got his little rocks off. I'll give him that. But he didn't do it as bad as Vegeta did him. He rocked him. I mean it. Like, he did Topo dirty. And it made me, his life-staking blow, it's like, why did he even do it if he demolished Topo? Like, I didn't see any reason for that, but he definitely did. Like, I think it used to be called the angry explosion in some of the games, or please correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, he did the move and he blew up, and it's just like, you just knew they were going to try to kill you dead. And I hope they didn't make him turn to stone, and he definitely didn't. He's still alive, his shirt's all ripped up and stuff, but he's still in the game, and we still get to see him next week. But one last thing before I end this video, we actually get to see Jiren, powering up and looking like, he's really putting something into it. And I'm not going to talk about the preview in this because I got to do a video about that. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out there. I'm really hyped for that next week. So, I've been Zero Zeus. This has been my Dragon Ball Super episode 126 review. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment.